Thursday night has come back. Pull up a Zoom box, grab a microphone, and get comfortable. It's about to go down. Good morning, good evening, and welcome to the online open mic presented by the legendary Nuyorican Poets Café. I will be your host. My name is Elemental. Happy Thursday, y'all. This is the jump off, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go. We do this every Thursday. Can you dig it? Every Thursday. And here we are again, set for another one. Every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, streaming live on Facebook, YouTube, and X, formerly known as Twitter. If you're watching on one of those streams, we truly appreciate you. And you would like to join us in the Zoom, the number's on your screen, 977-539-856. Jump in, join the greatest community in the world. Want to know why I say that? Trust and believe they are going to show you. We are going to show you this evening. We do this week after week thanks to some dedicated folks who pay these bills. All right, so we'd like to thank the Howard Gilman Foundation, the Poetry Foundation, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, and Education of America for hosting our free online events. You can add your energy to the mix with a tax-deductible donation by going to nuyorican.org/contribute. Also, make sure you are plugging in with the dopest tech in the Zoomverse. The one and only Ron Mark Thompson, a.k.a. RMT. You're not down with RMT by now? Damn it. You should be, because that cat's all kinds of dope, man, for real. This is where you can find me, Elemental.com. Spell Elemental, take out the T, put in the number 2. Elemental.com is going down. Y'all believe it. This week's theme, right? Your story. Life of Pi, right? For those who may celebrate, this is Pi, actually 314, right? So the Pi is actually, they're still building, right? They're still calculating Pi. It's going, it's still going, right? And this just makes me think of our lives, right? They are still going. We are still calculating our lives. So what does that mean to write our story, right? It's still happening in real time. So that's what I'm looking forward to. If your artistry is not on theme this evening, that is totally cool. We are still looking forward to whatever creativity you have brought with you this evening. Next week's theme coming at y'all. Army of One. However, keep in mind, folks, next week's theme, can you dig it? Next week, we are going to celebrate our 4th anniversary, folks. Our 4th year getting down in this online space, right? So yes, there is a theme. However, we are in straight celebration mode. All right. So for next week, yes, this is the theme. However, we are still in celebration mode. So we will have 30 slots open next week. Everyone will get 2 minutes to rock. All right. 2 minutes to rock, 30 slots come through next week. And we're going to celebrate for real. We can celebrate parenthood. We can celebrate so many different things, right? But it is our 4th anniversary. So come through and celebrate with the greatest community in the world. Let's get to the rules so we can get to the artistry. Artists, turn your cameras on. We are trying to simulate a live stage as much as possible. Plus, we love to see all the beautiful exuberance that goes into your performance. All right. Also, make sure you are changing your Zoom name to coincide with how you want people to connect with you, either before or after you get down. Make sure you are plugging your information into the chat so folks can copy and paste. Artists, have your artwork ready. All right, if you're using analog, totally cool. Dog ear that page. If you got it digital, pull it up. Make sure it's ready to rock. If you're playing music, just totally cool. Make sure it's original. All right, we don't want the agents of the interweb to interfere with our stream in any way. So make sure it is original music and you're using original sound. Right? Should be a setting. Right? It's about right here, I believe. Right? Talking about. Make sure your original sound for musicians is set on, all right? We want to hear every strum, every hum that goes along with it. So make sure your settings are right so we can rock. Artists, you got 3 minutes to rock, all right? Please be mindful of your time. Know that we have a full list this evening, plus a good luck round, right? So be mindful of your time to make sure that everybody gets that ample time to rock. We have reached night 9:30 for the babies, folks, all right? Listen, there are some explicit lyricists in our community, and some may even bring about some triggering flashbacks. But the founders of our cafe were major proponents on the freedom of speech, and we will make sure it maintains in the vein of everything we do. Therefore, there is no censorship other than any hate speech or any ism that people may use to manipulate, which will not, I said not, be tolerated. There is no censorship, right? This art form, this creativity that we do is a walking, breathing trigger warning. All right? Thou hath been warned. This is a true call and response space. After these artists get up here and they rip open a part of who they are and they share it with us, you'll see this pop up on your screen. This is when you get a chance to share all of that energy, all of that exuberance with the community. Don't worry about the noise, y'all. It's the rowdiest night of the week anyway. All right. So make sure you are sharing that energy. All of that energy will be returned to you in their performances. So make sure you share your energy with the room. The guaranteed to list tonight is closed. Sign up begins 24 hours before the show, which would be Wednesday night at 8 p.m. To sign up, you go to Nuyorican.org. You click on full events calendar. You click on a Thursday that you want to get down on. All right. You need an artist RSVP ticket. It's the only way you're getting on the guaranteed list, and they won't populate until 24 hours before the show. So plug in. Also, if you're in the area, right, the Nuyorican Bowery Slam is going down. All right, make sure you plug in. It is amazing. The open mic at the Lower East Side Center, it is absolutely amazing. All these poets, all these hosts are one-of-a-kind folks. All right, if you have a chance to pull up on them, make sure you do. You will not be disappointed. They will blow your mind. I guarantee you. The teen open mic is still going down. Also, Final Fridays is happening with Tony McPherson. I'm telling you, it's a big stage. It's a big deal. If you can fall through, make sure you do. All right. Tonight's list. Look at these incredible people who came to get down. Look at all of this. Couple of changes have been made. All right. I will post a list in the chat. But look, let's get to it. There's all my rowdy friends here on Thursday night. What's good, everybody? Always great to see you. Always great to be in a creative energy spirit. So let's do it. As I am putting the information in the chat, let's get it started this evening. Coming up first, it's been a minute, right? We haven't heard from our resident blacksmith in a minute. But guess what? He's back with a vengeance and ready to set us off this evening. The one and only Michael Sindler in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you. Please set us off this evening. Take it away.
I don't know about vengeance. I don't really I'm not a vengeance kind of guy, but I am going to actually put something in the chat about a feature I'm doing on Flight of the Dragonflies on the 26th. And I will, as usual, put in my plug for lighthouseriders.org here in Denver and everywhere. And you might really want to look especially at all the incredible stuff that's coming up for LitFest in June. Just people you would not believe, even worth like taking a road trip and coming to Denver for that. But I kind of wish I had one of those little Fisher Price toy drills so I could pretend to be like the Pie movie, which if you've seen the movie Pie, it's great. Better than Life of Pi by a long shot. I am going to sort of be on theme here. This is a poem that I found in a bag of stuff that I was looking through, and it was just a little scrawled thing from like somewhere around 1979, 1980, somewhere around there. So it's about 35 years old. And I was like, okay. So I typed it up and I'm going to read it. And it's called Newton's Favorites. The way I remember it, the way it was, we all wanted to be astronauts. We stared at the sky, nights, backs on cool, soft ground, lightning bugs like tiny meteors, like far off ships, set erratic patterns and sailed between the constellations. Slow satellites cut the night with pale pulses, electric perforation opening the stars. Space was so close. We bathed in the glow of black and white TV as solo, then duo, then trio teams, space flyers, space walkers, kings of our dreams, pierce the edge of the sky, set their feet on the moon, and we were there with them, drinking Tang, hanging upside down in a door frame, doing weightlessness research under lily pads in a murky pond, spending hours in the basement in simulation, eating baby food through a straw, playing magnetic checkers sideways. We were astronauts. We would send up insects in Estes rockets and proxy. We would stare for hours at maps of the moons, charting good spots for our base station, wearing out the flex disc recording of Shepard and Glenn and Armstrong, voices from the heavens, Newton's favorites. Now we hardly notice each shuttle flight. And I'm going to do another one that if I can find it here. Yeah, I'll do this. It's just a new one. It's called Where the Cacti Bloom. I seek you where the cacti bloom, where faint tint marks tethered faith, deep roots spread unseen under sands, bonds strongest winds cannot topple, harshest drought cannot desiccate, black ice night cannot crack with frost. I trace the winding path of rattlers, follow flight of feathered beacons, lane a lone set of footsteps indent verdant green shoots, wave me on, spry breeze dance, whispers welcome, leaning into the tempest gust. Every faceted diamond grain of sand cut sharp like time spent apart. Pale pick blossoms fade, fragile flourish in muted wild, sing sunlight back from night, cut crystal tune, blazes trail home. Okay, great to be here. It's wonderful we made it to 4 years, isn't it? What a wonderful thing. And thank you for being an integral part of it. And thank you to Ron for being an integral part. We would be much less without y'all. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael Sindler. Truly appreciate you. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Michael Sindler.
Yes, Michael.
Good stuff, Michael. I know I only caught the last part of it, but good stuff.
Yes, Michael, you're a mainstay, man.
I love that.
Thank you, Michael.
Articulate.
Hey, thank you, Michael.
Wise.
Yes, can you believe 4 years? We made it to 4 years. Thank you and everyone else, and all the the people at the Nuyorican Poets Café who are obviously helped us during the last 4 years. So I'm so glad we made it. Yeah, we're all here. That's good.
Wow.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I believe he said that was some new shit too, right? This dude, this is what I said with a vengeance, right? Not in a negative vengeance, but just he came back with something new, right? Came back ready to rock as a blacksmith does, always working on something, right? In the first poem, Newton's Favorites, he said, we all wanted to be astronauts. Man, that's just shooting for the stars is something very different, right? He said we sail between the constellations, right? Bathed in the glow of black and white TV. Oh my goodness. Listen, I remember my black and white TV, bro. These cats are, walking, piercing the edge of the sky, and we were with them, Shepard and Glenn and Armstrong, right? Those are just iconic moments of seeing those cats, actually put their feet on the moon. Something I'm actually was just talking about in a poem. And in the second one, where the cacti bloom, said the bond's strong as wind. That's something that was a heavy one for me. So thank you for that. Flight of the feathered beacons, right? Sing sunlight back from night. Oh man, you just do what you do very well, sir. Thank you for being a mainstay and for being one of the reasons why we continue to do this. I appreciate you. All right, coming up next, listen, shout out to educators in the building. This incredible, just creative comes through every week, whether he rips or not, comes through every week to share his energy, right? And it's because of cats like this guy who continues to come through that gives us the energy to do what we do. The one and only Doug Silver in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
Thank you, Elemental and Ron. Thank you for all you do for all of us. We appreciate it very much. Tonight I have two versions of the same poem, hopefully to inspire you to try the different forms. I'll put the terms in the chat after I read if you want to do some research and perhaps write your own versions. For the prompt poem of the week, Rattle asked us for a golden sestina or a tritina. For the golden part, we take a quote from a famous poem as the epigraph. The epigraph for my golden tritina is an excerpt from the prologue to The Tragedy of Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare. The prologue is one of 4 sonnets in the play. My golden tritina is called Our Scene. Our scene, from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, William Shakespeare. All it took, one word, one gesture, and the grudge flew up again. And once again, our ancient history returns to tomorrow. Without warnings, this scene, festering in the dust beneath us, in the souls above us, an ancient mistrust destroying our hopings, our wantings, unspoken, from a scene that started so long ago, no one can recall who provoked it, this grudge. Forefathers and foremothers of our childhoods can't recall the scene that came first, without invitation, but more than willing, able to steal the ancient peace, what little left we have between us, this repeating history, this tireless grudge. Our grudge, more ancient than we know, breaking us apart, scene by tragic scene. And for my second piece, it's a golden shovel version of the same poem with the same epigraph from Romeo and Juliet. Terence Hayes invented this form by using the entire poem by the great Gwendolyn Brooks, "We Real Cool," as the end words for each line in his poem. Here's my golden shovel. Our scene from ancient grudge break to new mutiny, William Shakespeare. All it takes is one word unspoken or one action unseen, and our little drama provides an encore. Just when we thought it was over, a scene we hardly noticed, never fully understood or delivered with what it's worth, from the forefathers and the foremothers of our childhoods, and should be ancient history by now. But no, the knife stabs just as deeply, 'tis enough, and the grudge is reborn, slightly anew, a different face or voice perhaps, but still able to break what fragile little we have left between us, what we had hoped to hold on to, buried beneath our feet in dust, floating above our heads like souls. Then this new child reincarnated immaculately, already growing into the old familiar mutiny. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Damn. Now I don't know. I don't know which one works. Damn. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Doug Silver.
Thank you, everybody.
That was
Appreciate it.
great to have you show these different forms so beautifully like that. You're not only enjoying but learning.
Thank you, Michael.
Wonderful.
That was so cool.
See, this is why I said, folks, this is why I said greatest community in the world, right? Because not only do we come here with incredible work, but we're also putting you up on game for new styles and new techniques, right? He said the first one was a golden tritina and the second one was a golden shovel. Listen. based on a Shakespeare line from Romeo and Juliet. Right? And the first one, right, you mentioned the grudge blew up. It blew up again, right? An ancient mistrust, right? So ancient, right? No one can recall who provoked it. And then in the second one, it went from an ancient grudge, right? One action unseen, our little action provides an encore. The grudge is reborn, right? Break what fragile little between us, like, man, listen, again, this is why we do what we do, because eventually folks are going to be looking back and seeing what we did and how we did it. And knowing that we still have people that really, really dig and love what we do, man, it just gets me excited. Appreciate you, Professor Platinum, for coming through, all of your energy, a mainstay of our community. Man, that was dope. Thank you. Thank you for that. Truly appreciate you. Again, shout out the educators in the building. For real. It's not an easy world to exist in. So thank a teacher. All right. Coming up next, the Jedi Master is in the building. And listen, he's about to take us on a journey, even if it's even him, right? Sometimes we get the shadow of his voice. Sometimes we get delighted in the actual. But listen, one way or another, we are about to be delighted in the one and only Paul Skiff in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Hey, hi, everybody. Thanks, Elemental and RMT, for your intense and long-standing dedication to keeping this room vital and alive and open and, free in every sense of the word. For this to go on for 4 years is no small achievement, and it's only due to the ethos of the Nuyoricans, the collectivized community effort, unpolluted by all the stuff that the white order wants a community cultural center to be by getting too over-organized. I do want to acknowledge the person who sparked this off, La Bruja, Caridad de la Luz, praised her unending. And for all the work for the first 2 years about that advocate of words did to bring this through the first and second year of the pandemic. And, you know, I recently heard Advocate say shortly before the pandemic, he was considering just getting out of the poetry game because it wasn't working for him. And I was pretty startled by that revelation from him, and makes me 3 times more grateful for everything he did. I also want to, sorry for taking so much time in the intro. I also want to acknowledge the recent passing of a really important figure for the cafe, Julio Dalmau, who was the house manager and indefatigable brick wall of a doorman for, I think, about 20 years, from 1988 when it reopened till somewhere around 2010. I'm probably off on that. Lived across the street from the cafe, and really just an intense and major contribution to the life of the cafe. I understand through the neighborhood grapevine, there's going to be some kind of memorial coming up. So I'm looking forward to getting some information about that. Anyway, I'll do my poem. It's kind of a quiet, sentimental poem. The old man's breath, seething hive, I would fetch the secret of his nails and screws driven as loquacious tongues betrothed to wood. When he needed a hammer, he would make the hammer. He was all coffee and Chesterfields, blood sausage, and Wilkinson blades. A life beneath buildings from which he would push forth furniture dense with hours of labor had provided him with sufficiency thorough and answerful beyond the west side of the river, where the names everyone had brought were pronounced wrong as a deference to their own children, where girls were sent through the hardship of business school to learn typing during the Depression, when before they would only have been exchanged through incense swung in front of their coronets of lace. To take down a boiler from the inside out, to be deemed devout enough to be charged with the heat for the nunnery, to be nimble enough to load his teeth with half-inch brads, to have more emotion for industry than for conceit. The Americans put the emphasis on the Tom in his name, not the Ma or the Chick, which they would have said was spelled wrong. So he was Tom-a-sick. He drove a Dodge Dart, and that was fine, because when you have driven a Model T across the state, luxury is pointless. He never flew in an airplane, and that was fine. When you read about the Wright brothers in the newspaper, then watched men walk on the moon over television, this world will never emerge any closer than from where a saw rips or shears glide. The old man's breath, a seething hive. I attended his work for the immobilizing privilege of being witness to his skillful cussing, the grain and thread of each obscenity rotated and exacting. It was a binding, hallowed delight. After the old man was slit open to have a cancer carved away, I would endure his hallucinations to verify his self was intact by being patient for one of his swear words. Upon the thickly brocaded chair he had built for himself, he dazedly stirred in a room full of his craft, all pricked with withered patches of now reverential flame. Oh, the curtains are burning, he would croak, but I would not look over my arm on the Davenport, only just wince. Oh, hell, he would say with a timbre of a carillon, and then I could sigh. Doctors left his carcass to waste on a table in a hallway for 6 hours before telling me he was dead. Tomasic. His name is Tomachik, okay? I had to clear it up. More frightened of her new aptitude than of the visions themselves, a year later, hallucinations like sudden answers took his wife. Experts advised it was Alzheimer's, but when we sat alone at the kitchen table with her eyes unloaded, she would say, "Paul, he's swearing. He's swearing at me right now." And I knew it was Tomachik.
Listen, I told you that dude does this. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Paul Skid.
Beautiful,
Incredible, Paul.
Man,
A
amazing.
wonderful piece, man. Thank you for sharing.
So loving and just
Yeah.
the intimacy of the details, just beautiful.
What I love about creative beings, right? Because we pay attention to the details, right? Because every single detail matters, right? Every minute detail matters to the overall image, right? And the way that you paint pictures, sir. Listen, I forgot to tell y'all earlier, the storytellers are in the building this evening, right? And you're getting some of the best, I promise you, right? Yes, I saw that one too. Lantern carrier, hard at work. Listen, I saw that one too. Luxury is pointless, right? Luxury is pointless. He said he was the heat for the nunnery, right? The world will never evolve the way Blade saw. Come on. He said he was a witness to his skillful cussing. Come on, man. That's a master of language, right? The curtains are burning. Listen, and then, you know, what you were saying early on, you know, I think it's important for people to know where we've come from, right? And the people who were involved that helped us to get here, right? We didn't do this by ourselves, and this wasn't built in a day. For it to be 4 years later, for us to still be rocking, for us to still be helping to inspire others, that's what it's all about, folks. So thank you. Thank you for continuing to rock with us. And Paul Skiff is, again, one of those mainstays that we have been extremely thankful that he's been around this entire time. For real. Thank you, sir. All right, coming up next, this cat, another cat who's been rocking with us for a long time, man. always got a rhyme, always right on time. The one and only Eddie Foreman in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. Eddie, always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away. Oh, we're getting there, Eddie. Still can't hear you.
Hear me now?
Got you. Let's do it.
All right, sorry about that. Stupid Bluetooth. But I'm sorry. Thank you, our lovely host that we love the most, that deserves a toast, that never stopped to boast. All right, my name is Eddie Potato. Look fantastic. Please, in time to enjoy my rhyme off with Sublime. I got 2 poems, so I won't take too much time. Well, today is Pi Day, so I got a pie poem. This is called Pi 3.14 by Rachel Mack. No one gives pi much thought, even after it has been dutifully taught. The numerical pi goes on forever, like the swish of a baseball, flying through outer space. 3.14, for some, it's a bore, but not to me. The transcendental number is the code to unlocking the perfect memory. Math involves area, circumference of circle it solves. Pi never repeats itself. Pi is smarter than that. That is a fact. 22/7 is the equivalent fraction, but to me, that fraction is a distraction. I prefer the original, the decimal version, 3.14. Thank you. And I got one more. This is called Fear. Fear, the creature in the dark, hiding underneath your bed. That fear reached our hearts, nuts inside our heads. Shiver as sharp as darts, body heavy as lead, ripping us apart, wishing we were dead. Here's an inner start. You can't forget what's been said. Here's a rational fact. You're not having a heart attack. In all, it's really whack. Don't add, but subtract. Let it stack. You are still intact. You can still act. You're not under contract. You can still adapt. You can always backtrack. It's not an attack. Please don't overreact. As a matter of fact, you can always unpack. No, it's not a wisecrack. Live, fail, learn, and grab a snack. Things aren't always black. It's just an extract from an impact. Thank you.
I told y'all that cat's always got a rhyme. That's always right on time. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Eddie Foreman.
Eddie. Talk about variety too. You just always come up with something new, man. I love that second one.
Yeah, I really like those short, like 2-3 word rhythms you built up. They become so dense and really lulling to the ear. It's just wonderful to listen to.
Listen, thank you. Thank you to everyone. Listen, and I implore you to comment. Listen, it's not just about me, you hearing me, you know what I mean, yelling on all that, right? But it's about something different when your community members let you know, hey, we hear you, we feel what you're doing, right? You're not just screaming into the ether, hoping nah, we hear you, right? And we look forward to hearing you, right? I was not expecting the pie. I was not expecting the pie poem, but I love it. It was exactly it, right? The transcendental number is the code. It never repeats itself. That's why I said it's writing your story, just like ours. It never repeats itself. Once it's over, it's over. That fraction is a distraction. That was dope. The second poem, Fear, you start talking about fear, right? You said your body is heavy as lead, right? But you're still intact, right? You can always backtrack, right? I like to say fear is a natural human emotion. It can be used in 2 ways, as a deterrent or motivation, right? And that's exactly what that speaks of. Thank you, Eddie, for staying just saying so consistent. I've said that before, man. Your style is yours and you stay locked in, stay committed to it, man. Truly, I appreciate that. All right, coming up next, this incredible author continues to come through and share his masterful work. Author of Black Calculus, author of 4 Crescents, the one and only Norm Mathematics in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Math. Always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
A great place to be on a Thursday night. That's where it's great. Here we go. It's not a pie per se, but you'll get the numbers. Is the universe of quantum physics metaphysics? I'm thinking along the lines of the reciprocal of the universe, with all the calculations for traveling across the expanding space from one little pop, like a new idea out of nothing. That nothing stops at the surface of my flesh, where I begin to be human, with the idea of a big bang, which begins the perpetual search for me, being found in an unseen multi-dimension that my mind is trying to configure across the same space-time dynamics in my universe. Not calculable, nor measurable, so demanding to make sense of if there's sense to be made, outside the mind and integral to the product of one love. Next piece. Meditate. Silence does not contain the call and response dynamics built into our social customs. It is not your turn to be heard. Silence is your call to listen to all things unsaid, still babbling under your tongue. Peace.
Unmute yourself, give it up for mathematics.
Oh, man. Oh,
Man, no.
that was just beautiful, both of them.
No math. Listen,
Thank
as
you,
I
Michael.
said, incredible author, incredible poet, incredible human being. This dude, he said, is the universe of quantum physics metaphysics? Huh. Right? A new idea out of nothing, right? Where I begin to be human, begin the perpetual search for me. Wow, man. To be an integral product of one love. And the second piece, I think more and more people could learn from that, right? Because we all have that time, right? You said it's not your time to be heard. However, when it is your time to be heard, whoo, make sure you set that microphone on fire. Appreciate you, man, for coming through and doing what you do, for being a mainstay, for rocking with us all these years, man. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. Truly, truly appreciate you. All right. Coming up next. Listen, I always like to say that he's going to balance out our week, but I see this week he's not holding his instrument. But I do know that Joski C is always ready with something. Look, and it is boom. It's within reach. It's just within reach, right? Coming up next. Listen, our resident musician is in here and he's about to do what he does. The one and only Joski C in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. Joski, always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away.
Hey, Elemental, it's good to see you. Are you sure you didn't miss a couple people on the list, though?
No. We move some things around. Don't worry about it, Joski. We move some things
All
around.
right.
You good?
Okay, thank you. So this is a song that I wrote, I'm going to say back in 2017, right after Trump was elected. But I added a new verse. So this is just called Winter, actually. Here we are, ready for spring, so I got to get it in. What do we do when the country we live in cast all its votes? Got this decision, there's clouds rolling in, feeling the darkness winter comes after the fall. My parents were young, they crossed the river, working so hard. That's how we came here, but now we're afraid. This man on his mission, trying to tear us apart. There's clouds rolling in, feeling the darkness. Winter comes after the fall. If love conquers hate, then it's come too late. Wear your hijab, drive to the market, lock all your doors, watch where you park it. There's stares of disdain, stares of derision. Seems their vision excludes our religion. There's clouds rolling in, feeling the darkness. Winter comes after the fall. If love conquers hate, then it's come too late. Women, erase apps from your cell phone. Don't leave a trace. Don't make a mention of menses delayed. Keep it clandestine, crossing the lines to find intervention. There's clouds rolling in, feeling the darkness. Winter comes after the fall. There's clouds rolling in, feeling the darkness. Winter comes after the fall.
That dude is something else, man. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Joski C.
Josie.
Nicely done, Josie. Josie.
Yeah.
Nice.
I think
Nice.
Skip said
Beautiful song.
Real nice.
It was so well balanced between poem and song, and I really like that treatment of the guitar you used. It sounded
Yeah.
like a lyre, like a really sort of eternal, universal, ancient sound. It was really
Yes.
beautiful.
Yeah, that's a great
Very
observation.
nice combination. Yes.
Yeah, it was just beautiful and tragic.
Love it, folks. Look. All of that energy, like I said, right? When you get all that energy back, it's fuel. Honestly, it's fuel for the artist to keep going. Right? Like I said, when you know people are listening, when people are actually hearing, right? Not just, oh gosh, that was cool, but when people can actually tell you why it moves them. I think that's why we continue to come here. We continue to help each other cultivate. This is iron sharpening iron. That's how we came here. The song said, this man on his mission, right? Winter comes after the fall. I just love that line. I love that line. If love conquers hate, then it's come too late. The clouds rolling in. Man, I don't know what that rain's gonna do, but it's coming. It's coming. Thank you, Joski, for being a mainstay, for always balancing out our week We truly appreciate all that you do, sir. Shout out to Neen, too. Hopefully all is well. Appreciate you, Joski. All right. A few more poets, and we're going to pass it over to RMT. Coming up next, this incredible poet makes space for so many poets, so many platforms, continues to do it, and do it well. I like to call the daughter of Krypton, the one and only Finn Bell in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Good to see you too, Elemental. Good evening, family. It's good to be with you tonight. I am on Instagram. That is at Finn_Bell. So I wanted to do 2 haikus for you first, and then the main poem. Hopefully I have time. So these 2 poems, they're very humorous. They come from a book called 100 Great Books in Haiku. And so the first one I'm going to read you is Lady Chatterley's Lover. On the grounds, fresh game. On the new gameskeeper, fresh Lady Chatterley. On the grounds, fresh game. On the new gamekeeper, fresh Lady Chatterley. So the next one is The Tale of Genji. Lady Murasaki Shikibu. 2 wives, 10 consorts, under the wisteria, many warm futons. 2 wives, 10 consorts, under the wisteria, many warm futons. So I love that. Perfect vehicle for a little bit of mini erotica. Okay. So this poem is called To the Seeing. It's relatively new. I'm still working on it. Milk coughed up, blue tinged. Seawater, thin blood foam. A virgin spasms, rosy, a tall to the seeing eye, refractory to the prismatic nth. My forest feathers carry the rainbows of telling colors aloft into the blackest part of nighttime. What would you give to steal a glimpse of me in slumber, cloak wings parted, gold vein leaf skin, sighing your hidden name? I am telling the story as it arrives lapping upon my shores. I say that now, a dialogue between opaque hearts, a solitary soliloquy, soul I want to write to us in reverse, from farewell to hello, from the bitter back to the sweet. In this way I remember. I don't recall yet how the story learns conception. I lie. Who resurfaces when my back is curved away? Who remains when I take that step? Another, one more. I will create this distance. I am the pathways multiplied by our comings and goings, my body an exploration, a profuse moss green terrain, a map unnavigated. We have trampled it. We are aimless. Gaze here long enough, love. Love, your eyes blur directions. Who between us leads us astray? An islet, left untended, unguarded, weakens its borders, gives way to the ocean's mouth, a surrender. Why do we armor the sand, fevered, sinking? How do the slender tree trunks sprout spears? Fruit pregnant and low are feeding cannons. We find peace inside nowhere, a speck, a consequence. Train your eyes to shudder the horizon, love. Love, your sight betrays you. Why are you convinced that we are at war? Thank you.
Especially when peace sounds like that. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Finn Bell.
Yeah. Those haiku were funny, but your piece was...
Finn Bell, you're terrific. Wow.
Yeah, that was beautiful, Finn.
Poet's
as always.
poet.
That was great.
Yeah,
Very
you
thoughtful.
kind of do this thing with these words, and you put them together in such a way, and they're always like coming out like poetry. um, listen, listen. First of all, to everyone who's bringing in the styles this evening, y'all are amazing, right? Anytime you can do something like that with haiku, that's amazing. Such a small little space, but you can just get down so hardcore. I love it. Um, the second piece, when you start painting a scene, it's easy to kind of get lost in those, again, those nuances, those details, right? Because they do make all the difference, right? You said, what would he give to steal a glimpse of me in slumber? Right? To take it back from the bitter back to the sweet, right? Find peace inside nowhere. Find peace inside nowhere. Sometimes that's the safest place to be, is nowhere. Thank you, Finn, for being a mainstay, for being such a person of our community, right? We have been holding it down for these years, and we have always been trying to grow our community and make ways for other poets. And this poet is one of those. Thank you, Finn, for all that you do and continue to do. Make sure that you're plugging in. They have a wake up and write going on in the morning. So make sure you plug in. They're always ready to give folks inspiration. So plug in. Appreciate you, Finn. All right. Coming up next, like I said, moving some stuff around, folks. So coming up next, we were delighted in a duet by this team last week, this collaboration that we delighted in last week. And now we're getting another one. Listen, I'm all for this. I need y'all to know, if history is any indication of the future, we're about to be delighted in a beautiful experience. So what we have here is now a beautiful collaboration coming at you in real time. The one and only Dane Ince in the building, right along with Mercedes in the house. And we are about to be delighted in something spectacular. It is great to see you both. Let these folks know where they can find you. We are looking forward to it. Please take it away.
Yeah, hi, everybody. We'll be back to do it again. Okay, so we just jump in.
Okay.
All right. How you look at me, the kiss of words from your lips leaves me wanting you. Navigating gravity, waiting brings us sweet longing.
Hearing your sweet voice, read your poetry to me, sparks igniting fire. You and me, or we and us, minds and bodies touch and dance.
Tell me what you want. I love to listen to you. Delightfully free, sensually desiring, you near me, closely loving.
Sweet, alluring man, you are like catnip to me. Moth beholds a flame, an enchanting pas de deux when friends can become lovers.
Waiting for the day, sweet and tempting delights me. Sun shines in you, warming, hoping, adoring, tango flowers in my dream.
Transfixed by your gaze, you hold my heart in your hands. Life can be so strange, feeling just like a schoolgirl, crushing hard on you, baby.
In this hurricane, look around and see you smile, beckon me ashore. Deep inside your warm port eyes, my hands harbor shelter us.
Kind and gentle soul, radiating warmth and love, perfect rose blooming. Dreaming, I desire to feel your skin accept my kisses.
My skin is longing, forged in blush from your hot lips, lines on road maps where futures sing our aria, roar of Big Sur Sea Glass Beach.
Utterly charming, impossible to resist. River flows to sea. More than a tasty morsel, you are a delightful feast.
Before the world dies, tangled thighs we slide out of, a dream held kissing, pulse quickens, nibble on lip. Come wrap me in your poppies.
Your words this morning, spontaneous combustion, lifetime of longing, passion burning like wildfire until you are by my side.
Thank you, everybody. That's from our collaboration, Morning Tonka. And it started, look at that. Thanks, Michael. Yeah, it started out, in a tradition in Japan a long time ago. You'd go on a date with someone, and the custom was you would write them a little poem and give it to them the next day. And if they were, in sync with you, they'd write a little poem back. And so I did that, and she started writing back, and we traded back and forth, and then at a certain point I said, "Oh, I think we have enough for a book." So why don't we put it in a book? So that's how that came about. Thanks, everybody.
What an incredible story. Thank you for sharing it with us. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Dane and Mercedes.
God, I
Yes.
love that.
That was
Available
good.
through
Nicely done,
iPublish
guys.
too.
Very good.
Super dope.
Really
Super
enjoyed
dope.
it.
So those were all
Good
process.
collaboration.
Those were poems put through the process of being in love. That's
And
really
there's also a Japanese translation that runs through the middle that's really cool.
And it's if you look in the chat, there's a way to buy it on Amazon as well.
Look at this. Y'all are amazing. I keep saying that, right? I keep saying it's the greatest community in the world. And what happens? Boom, 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 boom. It's all everywhere. Listen, this is the world we live in, folks. Right? First of all, thank you to both of you for sharing such a beautiful thing with us. For not just for first of all being artists, for most of all being, hopelessly romantic poets, and deciding to, share your love with the person that you love. What kind of craziness is that? But the way that you do it, the way that you compliment each other in the poems, it's amazing, right? Like some of the things that you're saying, right? Like Mercedes said, I like to listen to you, I believe, right? She said, you're like catnip to me, right? When friends can become lovers, right? Dane said, when the sun shines in you, right? Mentioned transfixed by your gaze. You beckon me ashore, Dane said, right? She said, you're like a perfect rose blooming, right? Wondering how your skin will accept my kisses. What? What? She said, your words this morning, combustion. Like, yo, I don't know what kind of words you were using. I don't know if I want to know, or I don't know if I need to know. You know what I mean? Like, wow, that's amazing, man. Thank you. Thank you so much to both of you for coming through and sharing your amazing work with us, for being mainstays of our community and keeping it going. Thank you so very much. All right. Right. Catnip. Yeah. Before we move on, I'm going to pass it to the dopest tech in the Zoom verse, the one and only Ron Mark Thompson, aka RMT. You're not down with RMT by now, damn it. You should be. Ron, how you feeling this evening?
I am feeling okay. Thank you so much. So happy to be here. 4 years in the making. As you said, it is just great that we are continuing, this the journey on this ship, and I'm just happy, so I'm happy to be here with you, with everyone else in the community. Thank you, everyone, poets, performers, singers. Happy Pi Day, which is all, wonderful themes that Elemental always gives to us. So this is just great. Also, wanted to echo what Paul mentioned. Julio Dalmau, he passed away a few days ago. He was one of the original house managers and bouncers at the Nuyorican Poets Café, which, last year we celebrated 50 years. So, he definitely, was there for the in the beginning years. I never had a chance to meet him, but I heard it from so many of my colleagues who have been at the Nuyorican Poets Café that he was just, a great person. So I know his funeral service was earlier today in Upper Manhattan, and his burial will be tomorrow. So please rest in peace. Thank you for your service and for what you have done, in your many years of working for the Nuyorican Poets Café. We appreciate it. On that note, we are going to continue, with the Nuyorican Poets Café. I am Ron Mark Thompson, one of the program and operations assistant. I'm also serving as your tech assistant today. Many of you know we are currently in a 3-year reconstruction mode of the physical building. So we are going to continue our programs offsite at many venues throughout New York City, including every Monday our Nuyorican Bowery Poetry Slam. This Monday at 7 p.m. it will be guest hosted by DJ Luna Rosa, followed in the following week by J Rose. That is at the Bowery Poetry Club in Manhattan, every Monday, 7 p.m. You can get your tickets through our ticket site or the Eventbrite site of the Bowery Poetry Club. Also, we are continuing our final Friday slams hosted by Tony McPherson every last Friday of the month, 10 p.m. at the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater in the Times Square neighborhood. And not even Elemen2al knows that yet, but I'm a humble person. But FYI, we are also continuing what we call the Twilight Open Mic, which is right after the slam. So for anyone who is in the audience and wasn't too sure about participating in the slam, they can go ahead and participate in the open mic right thereafter, and I will be hosting that open mic myself in the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater on this month, and hopefully the following months as well. We'll see how it goes. So come on, stop by if you've never been. It is great. We have a feature there as well. We have the poets who will be slamming with each other. It's just great. Every last Friday of the month. Also, we are continuing our open mics in person at the Loisaida Center, 9th Street, in Alphabet City on the Lower East Side, aka Loisaida. Yesterday, Sol Preem just had his most recent open mic there. It's now every second and fourth Wednesday. The next one is March 27th. This is similar to the in-person, to the online open mic here. Everything is welcome. You can bring your comedy, your song, your poetry, your monologues, your short storytelling, and there is no theme. So stop by. Sol Preem is a great host. If you never come to him, I definitely recommend that. Also at the Loisaida Center, we are continuing our Women Orator Wednesday, which is on every first Wednesday of the month. Next one is April 3rd, and that one is hosted by Felicia Cade, aka Rice Felicia. She also continues to host our open mics at the International Center of Photography. The next one for that will be in May. We will let you know as soon as that is coming up. We are continuing our teen open mic at the P&T Knitwear together with Rightopia Lab. Next one is at the end of this month, Saturday, March 30th. Also, Tony McPherson will be guest hosting and guest teaching the next free writing workshops at Studio One, which is on East 4th Street. The next one is on March 28th of this month. You don't even have to RSVP for that one, just show up. But you do need to RSVP for that one. Yes, we are continuing 4 years in, and we did have 2 weekly open mics online. But right now we have one open mic, and we're gonna continue this as long as we can. Elemen2al and I are definitely on board for this. And the very first open mic was a Thursday night on open mic before we even had started the Monday night online open mics. That one was on March 26, 2020. Many of you may remember it was a few weeks into the pandemic and the mandatory lockdowns. All the cafes and theaters had to shut down. So La Brua, our current executive director, was the first online open mic host. And next week on the 21st will be the closest to that 4-year anniversary. So we will be celebrating 4 years from now, even though I just feel, didn't we just celebrate 3 years a few months ago? But come on out for this. We're going to open a lot more spots for this. We're going to have 30 instead of 20 slots open for next week. We're going to open it Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to do a raffle as well. For anyone who signs up to perform, we're going to give away tickets to one of our in-person open mics and merchandise in case you cannot make it to New York City. So definitely stop by, celebrate with us. Try to reduce your poem to 2 minutes. We're going to try to, we want everyone who signs up to perform. So that's why we're going to do a 2-minute open mic. And, we've done it in the past. It is possible. Let's celebrate. Also, we have extended our stage play recording online, the Shine Challenge 2024, written by Ishmael Reed and directed by Carla Blank. It is now available to mid-April, April 15th, which coincides with the anniversary of the Titanic sinking, because the play is a little bit about the Titanic sinking, but interwoven with, contemporary American issues. You can read more description online on our ticket site. And, again, if you get a ticket, it is now available to watch all the way to April 15th. There have been many great reviews online thus far, by different organizations. I happen to be, in the background in the recording, so obviously I'm biased, but I definitely recommend this play. It is great, and that also shows you, and a reminder that the Nuyorican Poets Café isn't just poetry, but yes, we also do stage plays and music, and we're also in Puerto Rico this month. La Brua will be in Puerto Rico, our executive director, for a very short trip next week, and while she is there, she will be hosting and curating an open mic together with Micro Galleria Afro on on Friday, March 22nd at 6 p.m. in San Juan. I was there myself at that Galleria last year. I'm not going to be there next week, but I definitely recommend it. It's a beautiful outdoor space. It'll be in both English and Spanish. The poets that we met there on the islands last year, everyone was amazing. We enjoyed it. If you happen to be in Puerto Rico next week, or if you know somebody, send them that way. It's free. It's a free open mic. And while she is there for a few days next week, she will also host an open mic, not by the Nuyorican Poets Café, but by the Poets Passage in Old San Juan on Tuesday, March 19th. And that place I also recommend. It's a very diverse place. Many poets, performers go there. She happens to be the guest host there next week. Check out her Instagram or Facebook page for more information. And both those open mics there are free next week. So check it out. We also recommend back in New York City every Saturday from 2 to 4 p.m. in Harlem on 127th Street in the former home of Langston Hughes. Our own Felicia Kate, together with Robert Gibbons, are hosting writing workshops at the Langston Hughes house. I've been there once before. Elemen2al, when he visited in New York City last year, we went to an event there together. It is definitely a place we recommend. Check it out if you can. And also save the state, Sunday, May 26, Memorial Day weekend. It is the Loy Cider Festival on Avenue C in the Lower East Side by the Loy Cider Center, one of the organizations we're currently partnering with. And of course, we, the Nuyorican Poets Café, will be there present as well. Definitely with a table, with merchandise and info. And we're going to, try to coordinate something, on the stage as well. Stay tuned. We have 2 months, to organize all of this, but it's, even if we weren't there, we recommend that there's going to be food, there's music, there's arts, there will be vendors. It is just a beautiful community. I know Paul Skiff, since he lives in the neighborhood, and some of you as well, you definitely recommend it. It's a wonderful place for the community to be together. Talking about community, here are all the organizations we're currently partnering with: Bowery Poetry Club, Francis Kite Club, International Center of Photography, Loy Cider Center, the Poets House, Pregones, PRTT, the Puerto Rican Traveling Theater, and PMT Knitwear. Just follow any and all of those organizations in addition to the programs that we are holding with them there. They also are holding their own, wonderful programs there. So I definitely recommend them. But now I'm going to recommend our next performer. And I know Elemen2al had to shuffle the list a little bit around. That there were some performers who didn't sign up. It keeps me on toe. That's what I like about Elemen2al. We're always, good when it comes to all the professionals in business. But coming up next is Ike Waltz, a mainstay in here, always beloved. I can't wait what he brought today. Ike, you know how it goes. Let everyone know how we may follow you, and then the floor is all yours. Welcome back.
Isn't just poetry, he said. Brothers, sisters, let me challenge your pie butts. Is it nature, God, magic, science, or is it the DNA of a white man's clusterfuck? All white humans share a common black ancestor who lived around 200,000 years ago, and that in Africa. According to the Abrahamic religions, Adam and Eve were the first man and woman, and they were whites. And so Mary and Joseph, the Vatican endorsed a set of whites: a red-headed Mary, a brown-haired Joseph, and a blue-eyed baby Jesus. No. Jesus was not born in Texas. Yes, my learned friends, this is fucking confusing. And I had a fuck long before most of you were even born. But there is much more to a fuck, to this so generous American activity. Sources point to its first usage in the late 15th to the late 13th century. One has found out when the first fuck was actually performed. Fuck yeah, historian. And there was a Dr. Paul Booth who found the name Rockjaw, fuck by the navel, in the Chester County court plea rolls, dated December 8th, 1310. Dr. Booth said, I suggest it could either mean an actual attempt of copulation by an inexperienced youth, or, as later reported, by a rejected girlfriend, or as an equivalent of the word dimwit, i.e. a man who might think that fucking was the correct way to go about it. If Dr. Booth's discovery is accurate, that means we've been fucking around for about 710 years. And meanwhile, the term has evolved to include beautiful phrases like abso-fucking-lutely, bumblefuck, clusterfuck, fuckboy, fuck buddy, fuckface, and oh, so fucking many more delicious comedy fuckery. This brought me to think again of Adam and Eve, Mary and Joseph, and the white man. And guess what? the greatest fuck ever, may be explained by science. Hence, the DNA of a white man's clusterfuck. Let's see how this congregates with the mathematical constant pi. And let's be open-minded and count as Adam fucks Eve. Eve fucks Adam. Adam does not fuck Eve, but Mary. Eve does not fuck Adam, but Joseph. Mary does not fuck Adam. Joseph does not fuck Eve, but Mary fucks Eve. Joseph fucks Adam. Now Adam became Eve, and Eve now Adam fucks Joseph. Mary became Joseph, and Mary now Joseph fucks Adam. Eve became Joseph, and Joseph Eve fucks Adam. Adam became Mary, and Adam Mary fucks Joseph. Adam Eve fucks Mary Joseph. Eve Adam fucks Joseph Mary. Eve, on one hand, fucks Adam and Adam Eve, and Eve Adam, and Adam Mary, and Mary Adam, and Joseph Eve, and Eve Joseph, and Joseph Mary, and Mary Joseph, and so Joseph. Adam, on the other hand, fucks Eve, and Adam Eve, and Eve Adam, and Adam Mary, and Mary Adam, and Joseph Eve, and Eve Joseph, and Joseph Mary, and Mary Joseph, and so Mary. You may be tired by now of a fuck, but we are all born as an it. Read Freudian psychoanalytic theory, one of the three agencies of the human personality, it, along with the ego and superego. Oh yes, it's the postulate in your head that equates fuck with love, i.e. love making. Yet science has not been able to explain it. Mathematics cannot calculate or even predict it. Poets wrestle with civilized words to describe it. And the it is that bit which equals it, digesting every bit, all in a fucking fit. My advice, point Cupid's arrow to the stomach, as love may regurgitate it. And then let's scientifically digest it, whilst an explosive fart is considered common poo-poo art, and a PP leaves the gender via your defined it. And you and I need to go to a comforting place for doing it. Yes, at anyone's end, let's call it what it is, a hoo-ha, or a ding-dong, whichever the brain defines it. And yes, when you need to sit, shit is shit, and again, we fucking love it. Otherwise, for all the better, it can only be the fucking nothing, and that does not really matter. And then, did Adam really love Eve? What Joseph did with Mary? What a fucking miracle! Or was it all applied mathematics? We will never know. So never trust a poet when he lusts for love. Never ever trust your love, but fuck with passion if you really must. And horny Romans used to call it sum clusterfunctum in perpetuum. It is, quote, it is. It is what it is. Alrighty. Thank you.
I tried to tell y'all the storytellers were in the building this evening, and they do never, ever cease to amaze. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Ike. Whoa!
Oh, Ike.
That was not fucked up at all.
Nicely done, Ike. Nicely done.
You totally had my head spinning when you were describing what people these days would call that piggy pile of Joseph and Mary and Adam and Eve. I'd really like to see that on paper. I think that's the only way I'm going to get it straightened out. That was just so crazy.
That sounds like a personal problem.
And this pie.
Well, Ike does have great books.
Yes, yes. Ike has amazing books. I have the pleasure of having the last three, and they are, again, written in a style, produced in a style that I've never seen a book come out, and it's pretty amazing. I did want to shout out Finn Bell, the daughter of Krypton, also an accomplished author, and as I mentioned, mathematics in the building with Four Crescents. Truly. Listen, like, what in the entire fuck just happened with this poem, right? That now we know, right? We've been fucking around for about 710 years. Like, come on, man. Come on. With the comedy fuckery, right? However, you said, you started talking about Eve is now Adam that fucks Joseph, and Adam Mary fucks Joseph, and Eve Adam and Joseph Eve. And point the arrow at Cupid's stomach so that love may regurgitate it. Never trust a poet when he lusts for love. That's just heavy. That's just heavy, sir. That's just heavy. Jesus was not born in Texas, boy. Jesus was not born in Texas. I don't know what comet flew by your universe that gave you that line, but damn it, that's a beautiful one. Appreciate you, Ike, for being a mainstay of our community and continuing to do what you do at a high level. Thank you. Truly, truly appreciate you. All right. Of course, you know what? I know, but listen, make sure y'all give it up in your box. Hands in the box for Ron Mark Thompson. Make sure you're giving it up for RMT. Trust and believe. We wouldn't be here. We would not be doing what we do without RMT. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate you, man. Truly, truly the dopest tech a host could hope for, man. Appreciate you. All right. Let's keep it going, y'all. Got some folks in the building. Don't worry. We will get to you. We will get to you. No need to rush. We will get there. All right. Coming up next, the most eloquent writer I know all the way across the pond stays up crazy late to rock with us, but continues to come through and show us the beauty of his artistry. The one and only Lantern Carrier in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Lantern, and it's always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you so much. Great to see you all. I'll put the info in the chat afterwards. I was blessed by the lapis lazuli of a translucent sky and radiant sunshine as I exited the sweet sanctum of my mother's womb. It was a bright Sunday morning, one reminiscent of walks in nature that I was to enjoy much later among chrysanthemums, orchids, and pink marigolds in Grenada, my majestic Isle of Spice. My dreams and visions were horned, sitting in pews, telling Anansi folk tales, the simplicity of hide and seek, hop, step, and jump, spinning tops and kite flying. The village countryside was so vibrant, so exhilarating. When I wasn't helping Grandpa in the lands, I played cards, drafts, Monopoly, snakes and ladders. I was even good at playing marbles with my peers. We frequently bathed and fished in the river, as boys were known to do, went go-karting down steep hills at a furious pace. Mom was a culinary genius. Her expertise handed down by bloodlines of ancestry, shaping and cultivating the love she exuded. She was an adept at steamed down breadfruit, crab and callaloo, rice and peas, as well as ice cream delectables, prepared by churning a can with much joy, dexterity, and purpose. Twilight found us boys in eloquent conversations, dancing with twinkling stars, pulling at the light of constellations, or even gazing at the man and dog seemingly sitting on the majestic moon. Musically, I love the ring of nuances in calypso, soca, reggae, and steel drums, to include the numerous sortie of carnival revelations. Today, the sweet wafts in my heart sing to morning glories of the sanctity of life. I was bestowed mom's legacy of selfless love as a banner of lustrous light, like nebulae, from shaping the policeman's honor to serving in hospitals and foreign countries. I have carried my mother's torch of Olympic beauty for so many years. No, my path is not strewn with caves of Aladdin's treasures, but rich in the merits of mystic lovers of the Tao, who write upon the musical drumbeat of the soul. I am a conduit, manifesting bars and a paragon of eloquence, whose exquisite imagery is calligraphed on the lyrical strands of the violin within. Like Pi, I am the protagonist in my story, spinning on a seamlessly endless wheel of memories of remorse and despair to attain freedom. Like Pi, I followed my father's footsteps, confronting the ferocious face of ignorance tiger, transforming it into the oneness of love, removing the dark illusions of my veil. No more do I carry my scars like medals on display to appease the unruly ego. I sustain my serenity in the ever-changing vicissitudes of life. Now I face boldly, like Pi, the challenges of my inner demons to arrive at the golden shores of the sacrament of the eternal now. Lantern Carrier, thank you.
I'm telling you, most eloquent writer I know. Unmute yourself, give it up for Lantern Carrier.
Talk about nailing the prompt.
Nicely done, Milton. Nicely done.
Finishing up with the eternal now.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I don't know
Take it home.
what more you can ask from creatives, but to go all in, right? The anime fans know you go Super Saiyan, right? When you just evolve, you know, into your ultimate form. Sir, in case you didn't know, your ultimate form is a poet. I don't know if anyone put you up on that game. Your final form is a poet. He said the sweet sanctum of my mother's womb. Isn't that the truth, right? The last moment of safety on this plane of existence. You mentioned playing marbles, the go-karts. Said my mom was a culinary genius. Man. I still, you know, when I was young, I couldn't figure out how my mom made biscuits, but she always made them and they were so damn good. You said that you sing to morning glories of the sanctities of life. I've carried my mother's torch of Olympic beauty for many years. Man. Said lyrical strands of the violin within. Like Pi, I followed my father's footsteps, removing the dark illusions of my veil, right? Ever-changing vicissitude of life. Like, that dude he just does it. So I love about our community, right? Again, we just really, really dig into what we do. That's what I love about creative beings, because they are never slouches, right? They never take breaks. They never take the easy way, right? We always go the long way. Why? There's more flowers. Appreciate you, Lantern. Truly, truly, for being a mainstay and staying dedicated to who we are and what we do. Thank you. All right, coming up next, shout out West Coast in the building. Listen, this cat has been rocking with us for some years too, right? Had some things going on, like took a step away, came back, found his way back. This cat has been rocking for years, and I'm telling you, has always got something for you. The one and only Abraham Kamani in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, man. It is always great to see you. Please, take it away.
Good evening, everybody. I like Ike's poem, Jesus Wasn't from Texas. I'm still getting over it. I'm still thinking about that. Good piece, Ike. Guys could find me on Instagram at The Righteous Poet. That's spelled WRITEOUS. And you can find me on Instagram under this name right here, Abraham Kimani. I got two. I think I can get them done in 3 minutes. This one I wrote several months ago, and I might have shared it a while back. I'm not sure if I did, but if I didn't, this one is called Christian. If the word Christ is crossed out of his holy name, then he will be renamed Jesus X, an ordained minister in the Nation of Islam who dare not preach a message to his disciples to blindly turn the other cheek when struck by the hand of oppression. He will not be the sacrificial lamb who tells the enslaved masses to be obedient to their masters as he is being led to the slaughter for crucifixion in the nation of Israel. But for those of us who profess to be Christians, believers in his resurrection, followers of his teachings, holding ourselves to the expectation of being like Christ, we should break down the meaning of the word Christian. If we substitute Christ with the letter X, remove the letters I and A, replace it with a hyphen, keep the letter N at the end to be used as an acronym, then we are identifying ourselves as ex-niggers. Once blinded, deafened, desensitized by the forces of ignorance, but have now widely opened our eyes, ears, hearts, and minds to see the light of knowledge, hear the wisdom of our ancestors, feel the power of their Holy Spirits living in our bodies, guiding us through our divine mission and vision to liberate ourselves from bondage and create a new earth in the image of heaven. That's the first one. This one, I just finished writing, I think yesterday. It's called Rest in Victory. Let there be light so I can see what the future has for me. Will tomorrow be as bright as the morning summer sunrise? Or will it be more grim than winter clouds growing dim? May the horrid woes of yesterday no longer have a place to stay in my brain nor in my heart. Today, I give myself a fresh start, a present that uplifts my soul, a broken promise now made whole, to work hard and pray even harder, seize joy when the days are darker, knowing success will come at last, failure will be a thing of the past. Free from all unnecessary concerns, wrapped up in bundles to be burned by the fire in me fulfilling its hunger, consuming enemies like a warmonger on this battlefield known as Earth. I continue to fight on the devil's turf. With love and peace, the weapons I bear to spread with aggression everywhere until the day I must meet death. Let it lay my body to eternally rest in victory for conquering my fears, shedding off blood, sweat, and tears. Those left behind will truthfully speak on how I went out strong, even when weak, because I refuse to leave as a loser, a perishable name to the future for being so damn quick to call it quits in the face of life's toughest hardships. Thank you guys very much.
Yo, that cat came through with it this evening. Unmute yourself, give it up for Abraham Kimani.
There you go, Abraham. Way to go, man. Like your poem.
All right.
Listen, man. It's that type of fuckery. Shout out Ike Waltz. That gets you in trouble, man. For real. Like, yo, I love that right there, man. Right? That just goes along with what he was saying, right? Jesus. And now this brother came through and said, Jesus X. Be obedient to your masters. Right? Let's break down the meaning of the word Christian. Your ass. By the forces of ignorance. Right? See the light of knowledge. Create a new earth in the image of heaven. Man, you start talking about replacing it and that was a heavy one, right? Right? If Jesus' last name was X, like yo, I'm all for that. Like that gets me excited, right? The Jesus X poem, that gets me excited. In your second piece, you dig so deeply into what you do, right? You mentioned the broken promise now made whole, right? Failure will be a thing of the past, right? You go into such beautiful reality, right? You want to be a perishable name to the future, right? Until the day that I must meet death. Like, we all know that's coming, right? We don't fear it, right? We shouldn't. We walk at it with our head in a way and singing to it. Like, I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming, but I got something for you too. Appreciate it, Abraham, for coming through and doing what you do. Listen, if you don't know Abraham Kamani, man, do yourself a favor, right? Because that cat, he dabbles in a few different arenas, right? He writes some spicy stuff sometimes. He'll come through with some erotic stuff sometimes. This cat's bad, for real. Appreciate you, Abraham, truly. All right. Coming up next, we're going to stay on the West Coast. This next incredible artist continues to come through. Love when I see this artist because he is always, he's in his spot, man, right? He's in his spot. Shout out to Brim too. I see you, right? He's always ready to rock. And listen, he's got it, y'all. He's about to give it to us again. The one and only Bill Elkins in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Bill. It is great to see you. Please take it away. We're getting there. Hold on, Bill. Still can't hear you. Hold on, Bill. We still can't hear you. Let's see. We are getting there. Trust and believe, folks. Trust and believe, folks.
Hello?
It is worth it. There
Can
we
you hear me
go,
now?
Bill.
Okay.
I got you. We are good to go. Please take it
You
away.
can hear me on Midwestern Bill on Instagram. I'm going to do a song that I've played before. It's called My Lady from Manila. It's a song I wrote for my significant other for the last 12 years. Hope you like it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Effervescent, loving and refined, my lady from Manila enraptures me. Her poise, laughter, and style would transfix anyone as they did me. A nurse by profession, she's my Florence Nightingale. She's my lover and best friend, you see. She stands by me through all circumstances thick and thin, but will call me out when she thinks best. La 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 la. La 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 la. A classical music aficionado, my lady from Manila turned me on to Mahler Symphony. I share my love for opera, taking him to Tristan and the Zodiac Convent Garden. Our mutual passion for music deeply connects us to each other and to the world around us as a whole. We celebrate this passion wherever we may go, be it LA, Chicago, Paris, or Berlin. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Keenly perceptive, forthright and true. My lady from Manila, she gleans the wheat from the chaff. She's my lighthouse in my harbor. She guides me through disillusion as we live for ourselves. She challenges my thinking, helps me see things as they are, not as I always deem them to be. My lady's name is Rosita, and we're a match made here on earth. She's my inspiration for living each and every day. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Thank you, everybody.
Listen, this is what I love about what we do. Unmute yourself, give it up for Bill Elkins.
Oh, that's just so beautiful, Bill.
Thank you, Bill.
So obvious.
You're welcome. Thank you all.
There. That just warms your heart.
Thank you. Yeah. She warms my heart.
Tell.
Nice.
Tell, man.
You know, folks, I implore you in Zoomverse land, in social media land, take lessons from this guy. He said that he wrote this song for his significant other. And he sung so fervently to remind her how much he loves her. Now, listen, I know, you know, maybe singing a love song is not the coolest thing in the world in this generation. However, it is still very effective. It is still one of the brightest gifts that you can give to a person is a love song. Or in a lot of our cases, a love poem. So thank you for that, right? He said she was a classic music aficionado, like, and he, you know, shared my love for opera, right? My inspiration for living every day. Come on. That kind of love. Thank you. Thank you, Bill, for sharing that with us and always sharing your incredible artistry with us, a mainstay of our community. Bill Elkins has been rocking with us from the beginning. Thank you, sir, for your dedication. We truly appreciate you. All right, coming up next, we have a new voice. 4 years later, we are still finding ways to make space for new voices. And tonight is no different. Please unmute yourself. First of all, welcome. Thank you for being here. And before we get all into the rest of it, please tell us where in the world you are plugging in from this evening.
I'm assuming you're talking about me, Annette Turpley?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm from Virginia. I live in Roanoke, Virginia, in Southwest
Roanoke
Virginia.
in the building. Virginia is here. Listen, first of all, thank you for finding your way to us. Secondly, you see how this has been going, right? Let the folks know where they can find you online. Please know that you are rocking with the greatest community in the world. We are so excited that you are here with us. Please take it away and welcome.
I'm pretty well known in Facebook poetry community. I have a very large Facebook site called The Passion of Poetry with about 113,000 members internationally. Last year we were at 40,000. Now we're over 100,000. So I also do podcasts. There's 2 or 3 people here, I think, that I'm trying to get to do some podcasts. I've interviewed about 120 poets or so far. Still have a long ways to go. So always promoting poetry and looking for ways to give poets voices and to acknowledge their talents. So I too am a poet, a prolific poet for the last 4 years. And this poem that I wrote, I'm a nurse practitioner, and I went to go see a patient in a nursing home. And I asked, how many years have you been here? 7 years. How long has it been since someone's come to see you? 7 years. How long has it been since someone's called you? 7 years. So I wrote this poem. It's kind of sad, but it's meant to wake people up, hopefully. And it's called The Forgotten. I held her frail, wrinkled hand, veins prominent in a bony structure, wondering about the fruits of their labor. How many tears had they brushed from streaked faces? How many loaves of bread had they kneaded? How many pie crusts had they formed? How many times had they clasped together in prayerful supplication? How many diapers had they changed? How many times have they caressed the hands of another to comfort? Her once piercing blue eyes now clouded by a film, gazing into mine with a blank stare. How many sunrises had they seen? How many silent words had they spoke? How much love had they conveyed? How many tears have they shed? How many questions have they implored? How many hearts have they broken? When was the last setting sun that they had seen? Her ears, now large, prominent, and drooping, have lost the sense to capture that for which they were created. What secrets had they heard? What promises whispered have they not kept, that were not kept? What music had they loved? Did they miss the sound of laughter? Did they yearn for the pitter-pat of rain? When did they last hear an I love you? Were they lonely now in their silence? Her mouth, lips now dried and cracked, trying desperately to move, to form words that they couldn't speak, now touching my face with a weakened kiss. I mourn for a once vibrant woman that now lived alone in her shell, separated by a membrane of time, lost in a vault of sequestered memories. In a facility, she was cared for by unknowing strangers. No visitors would enter the doors in the land of the forgotten. And I just have another one I'd also like to share, not very long. I wrote this. It's called Eyes, Lips, and Hands. It is said that the eyes are the windows to the soul. They can draw one in with their accepting and alluring invitation. The eyes can laugh with amusement. The eyes can dance with joyful elation. The eyes can also extinguish the hope of another's burning fire. It can kill the hopes and dreams of the recipient with a calculated glance. The lips are the vessels that can form words of love, encouragement, adoration, curving into a welcoming smile that can warm a soul with its inviting contagion. A smile can melt an aching heart, igniting life through its rays of love. A sincere, warm smile is a free gift that we can bestow onto a hungry recipient. Do not forget that through those same lips can spew venomous words that can hurt and destroy. Hands possess the unheralded ability of loving and soothing strokes and gentle caresses. Gracefully, they can erase a furrowed brow, brush away the tears befalling a face. The capabilities they possess with their comforting intent is wanted, welcomed and much needed. They also possess the power to harm and ill intent if not emotionally contained and restrained. So let us always remember the power of the eyes, lips, and hands, allowing it free reign over the virtuous attributes while maintaining control over the adverse capabilities. Thank you.
Wow. Maybe control the adverse possibilities. Like, that's how you come through. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Annette Tarplin.
Beautiful,
Hey, Annette,
beautiful.
welcome,
Way you
welcome.
speak for those who almost have no voice.
Beautiful.
Beautiful
Come through.
indeed. Amazing.
I love it. I love it. Listen, first of all, welcome. Secondly, thank you for finding your way to us. The ancestors and the founders are smiling because today, after all these years, here we've been in existence 50 years. And even today, we are hearing new voices for poets who come through, for artists who come through, so many different walks of life and sharing their beautiful artistry with us, right? So now you have become one of those in a lineage of a long lineage of folks who chose their art, chose to invest in themselves and their creativity, right? And you happen to be a lifesaver. So you're connecting dots in many different realms. So thank you, right? Your hands are healing, but your hands are also creative, right? In the forgotten, it is a sad thing, right? When someone is just left to eventually become a withering memory. And when you start talking about the eyes, right? They are windows to so very much, right? How many sunrises have they seen? Promises whispered that were not kept, right? You start talking about these folks about, are they lonely now in their silence, right? In the land of the forgotten. It's a struggle to know that, people live their lives and they give everything, all, and they end up with nothing. It hurts. A smile can warm a soul, right? So share one. Thank you, Annette, for finding your way to us. Make sure you are plugging your information in the chat so the folks in the room can follow you and connect with all the incredible things you have going on. Thank you. Make sure you find yourself back here every Thursday night, because you are now a member of the greatest community in the world. So thank you. Coming up next, listen, I see this cat rocking his beret, right? I love when this cat comes through because he's always got something, whether it's comedic or his instrument is in flux. I'm telling you, this dude's incredible. I like to call him Catnip himself, the one and only Catman Bill in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Catman. Always great to see you. Please take it away.
Sure, thank you. But I'm so disorganized and unprepared for tonight. But this is my writing place, so come on. I don't have a paywall. Well, I do have a pay. I do have a pay, but it's gratis for anyone that wants to sign up. So just a little ode to the previous person. So I had an old uncle that was spending his last times in a nursing home. He was in a veterans hospital. I guess a branch hit him on the head in his young days, and he spent his life in these institutions. I only met him once or twice when my father picked him up at Northampton Veterans Hospital and brought him home, brought him into around Christmas time. We were warned to not get him upset because he was subject to fits. So in his last years, I just decided to pay him a visit. I was a total stranger. His name was David. I went to the home somewhere, And they told me, just walk in. So I went in and he was sleeping. And I walked over to his gurney. I said, Uncle David. And he didn't move. I said, Uncle David. And one eye opened up. And I said, Uncle David, I'm Bill, Willie's son. And the other eye opened up and he started looking mean to me. And he turned and he said, what the fuck do you want? I said, I'm just here to say hello and wanted to just say hi. And there was not much more to say. And I said goodbye to him and walked out. Anyway, so I'm going to start some, just a little bit of stand-up. It's hard to do stand-up when we're sitting down and the audience isn't even in front of you. So I don't even know if anybody's going to laugh. And I haven't prepared it well. So anyway, you know, I'm a very frugal kind of guy. I look for the best prices on good stuff. So when I was sitting on the can this morning, after having my early morning coffee, I looked over and I saw I had just about run out of toilet paper. I raced off to the store. Well, I did finish my business and I raced off to the store. I always look for the best prices, with one exception. When I buy toilet paper, I don't buy price. I buy the most expensive because you usually get what you buy. Nothing too good to spend on my ass. Until I looked at the Charmin Super Strong brand. Holy shit. It was $16.99 for 9 double rolls in the package. Shit. I switched over to Angel Soft. It was only $7.99 for the package. Okay, speaking of which, let me ask you a question. Do you wash your hands before going or after? I always wash my hands before going. I'm not going to touch my ass with dirty hands, but I would caution you about shaking my hands. All right. I don't see anybody laughing anyway. So that ends my stand-up. Now I'm going to get serious here. And it's a continuation of the Mississippi John Hurt burning of his home in museum along the Mississippi Blues Trail in Avalon, Mississippi, which was a totally African-American town for many years at the turn of the century. So his granddaughter wrote this to a friend of mine who sits on a very prestigious board that she may have something to do. She said, quote, the St. James Cemetery is an African-American, Native American gravesite from the early 1800s. A white landowner purchased the land surrounding the site, but on his deed, he clearly stated, except the St. James Cemetery. However, Charles Spain, the white landowner, went to the County Board of Supervisors and asked to take a large section of the cemetery for his family burial plot. He was granted this plot, which was already filled with graves. Yet he buried on top of the graves that had been there centuries. I went to the county, called local and state officials, all to no avail. To date, this historical sacred site is still being desecrated, and now, due to my complaint, has led to the burning of the John Hurt Museum. And I do not think it's going to stop, as I have been getting death threats also. If there's any assistance you can help with, I would appreciate and accept. So this is an ongoing situation. And we're hoping that a documentary has just been completed in February of the life of Mississippi John Hurt. It's been submitted to the Tribeca Film Festival. And so we're hoping for some interesting things come June, one of which is a concert. So I'm trying to locate potential concert venues in New York City. It's the performers are aplenty, but it's a venue that we can't hardly afford. So if anybody knows of inexpensive venues, I'm not sure. I still have to call the Studio Museum of Harlem to find out if they have something. But this is my my email address. Please let me know. And thank you very much. I'm sorry if I went over my time.
This dude is amazing. I told y'all, unmute yourself. Give it up for Catman Bill. It's the toilet paper for me, man. It was the toilet paper for me, man. For real. Like it was so angel soft, right? He said, I spent a fortune on my ass. Like, come on, man. Like, like, yo, that was just beautiful, right? I buy the most expensive, right? Because nothing too good to spit on my ass. Like, oh man. Listen, shout out to Vulcan. We always talk about, a friend of mine and I always talk about the parallels between poetry and comedy. And listen, it is not easy. It is not easy, right? Especially in this setting, right? Where you can't get those laughs, you can't hear those laughs. Like, yo, it makes a difference. So I commend you. Really, it is not easy to do that, right? And then you back it up, right? In the second piece, about the reality of what sometimes we joke about, right? The fact that people are burying bodies on top of graves that have been there for centuries, right? Real deal stuff, right? So thank you for reminding us that we can laugh even though there's tragedy going on, right? Because we turn that pain into something much more. Thank you, Catman Bill. Another mainstay has been rocking with us from early on, continues to come through and share his incredible artistry with us. Thank you, Catman Bill. Truly appreciate you. Coming up next, it has been a while. This next incredible poet, who I like to call the Iron Chef of poetry, does this. And again, another cat who's been rocking with us from the beginning. One thing I can tell you about this cat is everything he thinks is all in his mind. The one and only Generalissimo in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, Generalissimo. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Thanks a lot. What's your name? Oh, Elemental. That's correct. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Elemental. I remember your name. Sometimes my mind goes on me. I'm going to do two shorter poems tonight. So the first is, what is the fear of fear called? I fear everything and I fear nothing. Well, maybe that's not the right way to put it. I think I fear everythingness and nothingness. And while I have never achieved everythingness, I have felt, well, I'm sorry. And while I've never achieved everythingness, I have felt nothingness. Fear is part of the package we buy when we are born into this world as a conglomeration of blood, skin, and bones with a bonus brain of human beingness. Fear happens to babies when they exit wombs into air to be slapped on the butt after birth. Should we fear those who seemingly don't experience fear? I can say I am incapable of fearlessness. Personally, I've experienced a hell of a lot of anxiety in my 57 years, but anxiety isn't exactly fear. Remnants of past fears attach themselves to behaviors as irrational memories that refuse to unfuse themselves from my psyche. The psychological landscape has attached terminology to specific fears in the form of diagnoses: fear of heights, fear of spiders, fear of needles, fear of clowns, fear of this, fear of that, fear of the other. Just like the dream interpretation books bookstores sell, the teeth falling out one was always the worst for me. There needs to be a book of all these fucking fears. Do they keep statistics on how many new fears are named every year? The deeper they send unmanned submarines into the oceans, the more new species they discover. Is there a fear of not enough likes on social media? Is there a fear of wearing sunglasses incongruous to the shape of one's face? What should we call the fear of being fearful? Fear in its own right is both rational and irrational. The fear of fire is not the same as the fear of being too close to a fire. Why do people walk barefoot over hot coals, expecting to escape without burnt souls? People who train their minds to not fear cannot train their blood to not flow. And then change the tone a little bit. To all the taste buds I have loved before. I have been accused of being an acquired taste on multiple occasions. Sometimes it is said in a whispered voice, just loud enough for me to overhear. Sometimes they say it whilst introducing me. Sometimes I wonder why the word whilst has no E. Beer is an acquired taste. Liquor is an acquired taste. Coffee is an acquired taste. When I started drinking coffee, it was with milk and sugar, then just milk, then black. There is something organically satisfying about the taste of a good, strong cup of black coffee, but sometimes I like to put honey or coconut milk in coffee. Always beware any new coffee drink at Starbucks unless you want to induce diabetes. Although I doubt I induce diabetes, I can leave a bitter aftertaste and can unintentionally raise someone's blood pressure without trying. Thank you.
That dude is just pure sweetener. I mean, without even trying. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Generalissimo.
Wonderful. Generalissimo.
Just had my espresso a while ago.
Yeah, you've never left a bitter aftertaste with me, especially when you do all those poems you do about your culinary predilections.
Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, he never, Generalissimo never leaves an audience member unfed. With whatever course you choose, you will be fed from Generalissimo. And again, he just does it. He just does it. To answer your question, it's phobophobia, the fear of being afraid. Phobophobia. Hey, I don't know. Listen, fear is a part of the package we buy in this world. Yeah. Yeah, it just is. Anxiety is not necessarily fear. It is not, right? Although people may see it as that, it is not, right? They are two different animals. They may live on the same street, but they do not have the same address. What what should we call yes, the struggle is real, Mercedes, 100%, right? Like, and then to all the taste buds I loved before. Like, this is why I call Generalissimo the Iron Chef of poetry, right? Because you can hear the sizzle, right? You can hear the utensils. It's just so amazing. Take care, Lantern. All right. Thank you, Generalissimo. Don't be a stranger. Make sure you find your way back to us as often as possible. 3 folks left on the guaranteed list, and I believe there's 4 on the good luck round. Let's get it. Coming up next, this gentleman always finds a way to find himself near the end of the list, but he continues to rock and put in the work. The one and only Prince of P is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Prince of P. Always great to see you. Please, take it away.
This poem was, I will be sharing 2 poems tonight. The first poem is untitled right now at the moment. A long list of answers strung together in a timeline. Some from Honduras, others from the U.S., even some from Haiti. It brings to mind, people get curious about my race. Some are in the category of, I know you're Black, but where are you folk? A few ask, are you from Africa? They want to know what's stored in my structural store of my DNA. Like a pincer, and always pinching tightly on my kaleidoscope of my mind. Got me wondering, where did my answer come from? I don't know much other than what I know. Why does race matter? We're all human. Race is a dangerous game that some aim to shoot for, putting people in places that not all can fit in. How fitting that some put others in some put others in places. I mean, so that some how fitting that some put others in boxes, thinking blacks or any other group is the same. I can't fit in. Uncommon around common people. Got ancestors that look black but speak Spanish. Some of the dogs roll. Don't matter where we all. Don't matter where we came from. We're all human. That's the first poem. There's a fire burning. There's a fire blooming in every soul. Within every soul is a looming light ready to show itself worthy of praise. To be raised like liquefied libations. Time to let loose and lose your inhibitions. Have no limitations in your pursuit of your goals. No matter your residence, the fire burning in your innermost thoughts burn on the outside of your fireproof apparatus, your reality. Remember the fire that burns in your soul. Thank you.
Listen, you can never forget that because it just continues to rage. Whoo, boy. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Prince of Peace.
All right. Prince of Peace.
Listen, I love when Prince of P comes through because Prince of P represents the cats that constantly work. Constantly. Every time I hear Prince of P, he just, sounds like he's been working with Michael Sindler, just blacksmithing it. Just, you know what I mean? I just hear those tools. You know what I mean? They just keep clanking. They just keep working. You know what I mean? You got to keep putting in that work, Prince of P. Every time you get on, man, you're sharpening your tools every single time, right? In the first poem, you mentioned the kaleidoscope of my mind, right? And you start seeing those colors, you start seeing the truth. Where did my ancestors come from? I implore you to find out, because that will give you a level of fervency in your poetry that you may be looking for, right? People that look black but speak Spanish, yeah, I know people like that. Shout out my people from Panama. It's that way. You talk about time to let loose and lose your inhibitions in the second poem, right? And the fire that burns. Listen, that passion that you have for writing and being the poet that you are, listen, make sure that you're continuing to step forward with that energy. Appreciate you, Principe, for coming through and being a mainstay of our community, truly. All right. Last two people on the guaranteed list, same address. Past few weeks, we have been delighted in the experience of this next incredible artist, author of I Didn't Come Here to Tap Dance. This brother does some things with some instruments and some words, and he's about to probably do it again. So prepare yourself. The one and only Baba Ngoma in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
So look here, I only got one poem tonight, and it's no music, okay? But I'm dedicating this poem to CC Mays. He's still on here. Yeah, this is for CC. This is called "Searching for Ogun," an autobiographical war story at home and abroad. I met Ogun between the pages of a book near a rice paddy outside of Play Cool, hanging out with Bookman, Mackendal, Dessalines, and Celestine, explaining how they kicked Napoleon's ass at Port-au-Prince. I figured there was something to it, so I wrote Ogun Farrell Be With Me on the band to my steel pot helmet. The Cambodian red was good, and the opium put me in another place, and kept my head on straight. The crystal meth was great for mountain climbing, especially blazing trails through the central highlands where no man walked before. My man Rusty from B-More rocked an M79 like it was automatic. His specialty was duck, dive, roll, and fire. He could put a grenade on a NASA ass half a mile away. The old man from Houston had a thing for AK-47s, said the M16s weren't worth shit, but you could pull an AK out of the mud and still fire it. I was the fucking new guy. Me and machine guns were lovers. My side man was Jim from Gulfport, Mississippi, a big dude. He would lug 400 or 500 rounds of ammo at a time. Machine gunners need to have a death wish. A tracer round every fifth round was a guarantee. You needed to be like Muhammad Ali, stick and move, stick and move. I burned out a barrel in the mountains near Cambodia. It was the night Shorty's legs got blown off. We really missed him and his singing sitting on the dock of the bay when we hung out in the bunkers during the monsoon, drinking strawberry wine and puff passing to Otis Redding and Sam Cooke. Flea survived 10 rounds, got patched up and came back to the field, wringing wet. In an overcut, he only weighed about 100 pounds. He was a crazy white boy who had been a screaming eagle. I figured only fools jump out of perfectly good airplanes. He re-upped for another tour. I figured he just drank too much rock gut Jack Daniels and Santori. By then I was a short timer, just trying to survive to catch the last ride on the Freedom Bird back home. Hanging heavy with the brothers, we all thought things back in the world would be different. Brothers stuck together like glue and Nam. We really had no business fucking with the mighty Viet Cong, and we all thought there'd be some real black unity when we returned. But shit was still fucked up, and heroin was taking over the hood. Even doctors and lawyers' kids were strung out. Everybody wanted to be Superfly. I wasn't into needles, so I let it all pass by since I'd pledged to the Most High to be a warrior for my people. I came home looking for Black Panthers. I figured with my experience, my skills would be needed. They were mostly in exile, getting busted or killed. I was still rolling with Ogun, though I didn't know where to find him. I felt I was protected. Ended up looking for him in Newark, but found Baraka and Kawaida. The poetry was good, but I figured just 7 principles wasn't cutting it. I spent a month or so in Shanghai, Beijing, and Nanjing. Checked out Chairman Mao, but we needed a black thing. Realized that we couldn't make revolution like he did. Our march to freedom would be harder and long. Spent over a decade doing serious business, singing contemporary freedom songs. Traveling across the USA, Europe, and Africa too, trying to figure out what my people need to do. Sang for 1 million people in Central Park for nuclear disarmament. Sang for workers' rallies in Madison Square Garden. Sang for rallies at Sydenham, but they closed it down and didn't give a damn. So I decided to continue my search. Figured I wouldn't find Ogun in church. So I checked 1,000 poetry spots from New York to Portland to Connecticut, followed drum circles from town to town, trying to see if the gods of Africa could be found. Ran a New Age fair and got a lot of readings from readers who told me I should be reading them. Finally found a sister that opened the door, led me to the mat of the Babalawo, who told me that for everything, there was a time and a season. I'd been searching for Ogun, but Obatala found me. Seems like this was the place, the time and the season. The Odu shared to me destiny's reason. This path is much more about this path is much more than sacrifice and blood. It's ultimately about Olodumare's love. By Obatala, I had been chosen. Peace.
Yo. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Baba and Gobo.
What a story, man.
Amazing, like amazing, down to the so authentic to the how we load our magazines with a certain amount of tracer rounds so we can see at night. Like I appreciate that. Thank you, Bob. Yeah.
Yeah.
You ceaselessly amaze us with not just your writing, but the way you could pen that you both lived and died and lived to tell about it. You know, you're so true. You're so true, man. It's rare. You're so past the language and the literature. I love you, man.
Thank you.
Yo. Yeah, he was he was really putting in some heavyweight work right there. Every fifth, right? Every fifth round was a tracer. Yeah, man. Like if you know, you know, right? You know, they say that now, you know, if you know, you know. But if you know, then you know how important it is to have that tracer round in there. He said he met Ogun, right? He was hanging with the brothers, right? And hearing folks about how they kicked Napoleon's ass at the Port-au-Prince, right? That's in Haiti. He said crystal meth was good for mountain climbing, which means that they've been testing that crap along with agents orange and pink and blue and yellow on brothers and sisters long before they decided it was a pandemic or an epidemic. He said me and machine guns were lovers. Oh, that it reminds me like that was the line that was missing in what was the movie? This is my rifle. This is for fighting. Right. The vets know what it is. The vets know what it is. Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket. It just sounds like, you know, that was just one of those one. Screaming Eagles, shout out to 101. They're incredible. Rock Gut Jack Daniels, right? You know, hanging heavy with the brothers, man. You know, the brothers all thought they were going to come back for something else, but it wasn't. Everybody wanted to be Superfly. But he pledged to the Most High that he would be a warrior for my people. Figured I wouldn't find Ogun in church. So, and yes, everything has a time and a season. Just got to know when to harvest. Appreciate you, Baba. Another mainstay who has helped us maintain all the way through this in the brick and mortar and in the online space. Thank you so very much for what you do. So, in your galaxy, there's another planet that orbits, right? And I'm hoping to make space for them. They didn't have their cameras on. So if you know, the priestess is available to come through and rock, that is who we have on the list next. The priestess Oshun Oyen is going to be coming through. If they have the ability to do so, please come on through. I was in contact with them earlier in the week, and they were just telling me about how connected they are to the ancestry and how much they speak through them. So I am looking forward to it. If they can come through, listen, we can get to the good luck round and still make sure that we hear from Oshun Yoyen, 100%. All right. So we will definitely come back through. We will definitely come back through. All right.
You got muted, Elemental.
Sorry. We have 4 folks on the good luck round that are hoping to get down this evening. And listen, it's something about this good luck round, right? Because these folks have just been like, oh no, I'm ready for this. I'm ready to get down. And we're going to get it jumped off. Coming up first in the good luck round, right? Our resident piano man who likes to fancy himself a musician that's not a poet, but a poet that's a musician, and he just does all kinds of incredible stuff. The one and only CC Art Chakra in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online. CC, it's always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away. Still on mute here. Let's see. We're going to get CC. We are going to get CC in this mix. Trust and believe, folks. I don't know where CC just dipped to. Where'd you go, CC? Listen, trust me, it's all worth it. This is how musicians do, right? Got to get it ready, get all the yips out. Hey, we still here. CC, see if you can unmute. unmute right here. See if we can get it in. Blammo. There we go, sir. Come on, CC, take it away.
Here and now is when and where I observe my own mind. Here and now is when and where and when I observe my own mind. Here and now is when and where I observe my own mind. And I calm down. I calm down. I care for the sight of love is blind. My heart takes a rest and I sigh. Shakespeare is the name of my dog. And I'm grateful I feel home here and now. Even when I'm not seen, even when I'm not heard, even when I am alone inside the wind, as I share my alone with my peace of mind. Catch my wild thoughts with a choice to calm them down. And the war's all around me. Survive just to die. Still I'm grateful I feel home here and now. Here and now is when and where I observe my own mind. Here and now is when and where and when I observe my own mind. And I calm down. I calm down. I share my alone. I already did that verse. That everything true hits a wall. And everything large discovers it's small. And everything out there is only within. arms, fears, reasons to never trust love again. Till here and now, that's when and where I observe my own mind. Here and now is when and where I observe my own mind. Here and now is when and where and when how I observe my own mind. And I calm down. I calm down. I calm down. And I wanna, if you let me, I wanna do another one for CP and Ngama. Is that cool? Or is it no time? All right, okay. It's been a while, but he introduced that dedication to CC Mays, and I just, and it's like I have to fix that. This is for CP and Ngama. It's called War of No Heroes. I don't have my audio on, so I guess I'm good. Yeah, this is another one of those mistakes I made where I'm going to do a song that I haven't done in a while, so here goes. We're going to go right through. We're going to mistakes and all. All right, here goes. Let's see. Here we go. Now there are no heroes. Worse insulting love. Life of peace begins here. By this grave result of children killed in a war. Maybe I'm not ready for it. Maybe I'm not ready for it. Okay. Anyway, I'll read it. This war of now, there are no heroes. No voice insulting love. The life of peace begins here by this grave result of children killed in a war where innocents lay dead. Come into the garden where humanity must grow and ask the cheers of victory to become tears you lost. The loss of life must not be foreshadowed by some joy, for who is here to celebrate a child killed by war? Be you are the parents with a child dismembered by a bomb. Be a parent holding still in their arms a child who's now gone. Be you stand in ruins with a history not free and see the crimes of arrogance and heal all bloody flags. See the flags now mourning and salute what is ahead. Now expose all of war's evils and the profiting of this. The fuel of information, what is pumped into your head. Don't erase or sanitize what hides all that's unsaid. Don't hate the peaceful movements. They're our hearts against our cries to kill. There are no flags divided on any nations on one world. Without a peaceful movement, the world will see us all bloodthirsty, a real mocking of democracy. Pure hypocrisy is us. If freedom spits into the wind, it naturally blows back. What hero wants to have the dreams of a child's last breath? The war of now, there are no heroes, no voice insulting love. The life of peace begins here by this grave result of children killed in a war where innocents lay dead.
Let the crimes of war be said. Let all the crimes of war be said. Let every crime of war be said. This war of now, there are no heroes.
Damn. I mean, come on. Unmute yourself. Give it up for CCR Shabra.
And CP, give it up for CP and you, all you vets.
Oh man, that's great, man. Thank you for adding it to the night. Y'all gonna make me cry and shit. Yeah, good looking.
You know, again, this is what I love about our community, because we can do things like this, right? We can truly put ourselves into these spaces. We can truly give ourselves to our art. And we're rewarded with things like this, right? He said, catch my wild thoughts. Is a choice to calm them down. Ask tears of victory to become the tears you lost, right? Heal all bloody flags. Expose all war's evil and the profiting of this. Pure hypocrisy is us, he said. The war of now, there are no heroes. In a war where innocents lay dead. Innocence. I kind of thought we were fighting for innocence. How is innocence continuing to end up on the battlefield? It's amazing. Oh, listen. Listen. Hence the reason old men continue to promote wars for young men to fight. If you die young, hey, all that money goes to me, baby. Like, because I'm nowhere near the battlefield. Like, oh no, we don't do that. Appreciate you, CC. And listen, I'm looking forward to how you craft that into music, right? But it's coming and it's going to be magnificent. So make sure when you do figure it out, you bring it here. Appreciate you for being a mainstay, for holding it down and keeping us going. Appreciate you. Three poets left, folks. Coming up next, this incredible poet comes through. And this is how I've said before, this is how a giant walks softly. The one and only Sri Lal in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you. It is always great to see you. Please take it away.
Great to be here. Thank you, Elemental and RMT and Poets. CC, a tough act to follow, but I will do my best. I am Srilal Dev on Instagram, and this is the continuation of a piece I started last week, The Rape of Eve. So we left her in the garden. I'll backtrack a little bit. A ripple in the light, like some mirage, attracts her glance. This hour before the sun has reached its peak, she senses a strange heat that scorches as it seems to blind. How alone she feels, the man not at her side to take her hand, to warn her not to walk this path. She has never seen a body writhe like this. The serpent, his skin sleek, unlike the man's or any beast she knows, his scales positively gleaming in the light. He, a coiled dragon rising between the fig trees, and the length of his tongue, how it darts and flickers out toward her as if he would taste of her flesh the way she too hungers now. She shivers as he breathes in her scent like almonds and honey, and she cannot break her gaze from his. Are you hungry? He asks. He is solicitous. Eat. No one will mind. Eat whatever you like. No one will know. She does hunger, so her slender hand reaches out for grapes that fall ripe and succulent from a climbing vine, the fruit like dark jewels against her palm. No, not those, the serpent says, his coils rippling in the cool wind that shakes the myrtle tree. She starts, snatches back her hand as if she has been burned. Eat of the fruit at the center of the garden, he whispers, gentle again. Eat of the thick tree before the stream, beyond the bush of peonies. Such fruit so full and ripe will please you like none other can. And once you let your tongue slip round this fruit, once you have eaten all that you desire, the sweet nectar overflowing your lips, your belly full and taut, you will know all. The serpent's voice is soothing now, somehow hypnotic. The sky begins to shift in color, turning to lilac, then to smoke. As her womanly flesh is weak, so now is her will. Your fruit is more beautiful than that of any tree, he says. She knows not of what he speaks. She thinks of the man, his hair rough and wild like that of bear or lion, the serpent's skin shimmering in the light. Against her will she is entranced, though she shifts, uneasy in his persistent gaze. How could he know of her hunger roused? Not a word of secret longing passing from her lips. I'll leave it there for tonight.
You know, like the taste of a pomegranate. Like you just got to have more. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Sri Long.
Oh, I love that. Man.
Thank you for bringing the continuation of this powerful writing. That's amazing. It's great.
100%. It's one thing to just write one poem, but to write a series of poems, right, that connect front to back, side to side, parallel, perpendicular, right? To be able to do that and then be able to maintain the energy throughout, that is a gift. Thank you. Thank you for sharing it with us. And I love how you're taking something that people know and love and doing this number with it. Like, however you want to do it, left-handed, right-handed, it doesn't matter. You're taking it and you're forcing them to think about what they believe. Right? Right? The dragon, right? Amongst the fig trees. He's so solicitous, right? The fruit like dark jewels, right? No. Go ahead, eat of the thick tree, right? Once you have eaten all that you desire, you will know all. It's poems like that, right? It's the texture of the poem, right? You can hear the wind rustling in the fig trees, right? You can kind of see this conversation happening between this serpent skin shimmering in the light, trying to convince this being to do what it knows it shouldn't. Just all kinds of amazing. Thank you, Sri Law, for being a mainstay of our community, for coming through and always doing what you do. Like I said, folks, that is what a giant sounds like, making very soft footprints. Thank you. 2 folks left on this list this evening, folks. And that's only if we can't get Oh Shun Yo Yen in the mix. Until then, let's keep it going. 2 folks left on the good luck round. And if you're unfamiliar with either one of these folks, I suggest you prepare yourself, because it's about to, we are about to get some turbulence. Coming up next, shout out to Keeper of Concrete, shout out Concrete Generation. Listen, there are people that do this, and then there are people that do this. I had the luxury of being with this cats. Listen, shout out Swanye West, shout out Double Trouble in the building. Like, it's so many things, man. If you are not familiar with the Keeper of Concrete, prepare yourself. The one and only CP Mays is in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you, folk. It is always great to see you. Come on, man. Take it away. Nope, can't hear you yet, but we're going to get it cooking with Crisco.
Got you.
Let's do it.
Yeah, shout outs to all you wonderful people, poets, singers, like everybody's super dope. I'm glad to be here. Shout outs to Ngoma. That poem really meant a lot, especially since it was talking about other people we served with. Because most of the time when we're in the military and you hear about all this heroic shit, it's never for like country. It's because of the motherfucker sitting next to you and you've met his mother before, you know? So thank you for telling those stories and let me know that my stories don't have me so isolated. Shout outs to CC. Here's a poem. It's called Outlaw. I left home a hero amongst underachievers and returned home to myself strung out on pain. Addicted to chronic nightmares and I love yous, here I am. Proving what puts the tragic in most people's tragedies are the ones that live to survive after them. I'm almost never always happy, sad, sometimes depressed, even when I'm not. Mustering courage to pull miracles out of every moment because maybe, if only, and perhaps are the quickest ways to refurbish your halo with regrets. Before I give up the ghost, I want to know the feeling of loving myself with the same intensity that my hate does. I often tell the man in the mirror, don't you call me beautiful if you want me to believe anything else you have to say. Most nights my days run together like Jack and Daniels throwing glass rocks at glass houses because slicing my wrist won't provide enough AC needed to cool off the fire in this heart. It's where this poem is. There are no monsters in my closet, but when I'm still life, still frightened to go to sleep, it's only because I'm deathly afraid of waking up with the devil in my bed. So I dream like the true meaning of life told me not to, like the Grinch that stole Christmas still prefers you shop with your credit cards. I never believed I could buy back my beauty. Some of us know fulfillment lies in the chores we work to work our ugliness off. I am not the voice of the blues fierceness, bellowing behind respect and mic. I am the electric lady man, poet laureate of future. Please do not forget about me or the way poetry can make you feel something. Or again, here I am. I am here. Only because over there hasn't made up his mind on what laws to not make up yet for me to break down yet. I don't sweating it when I cry because I want Jesus to walk all over me. It's the source behind how I learned to love hard in a place where hate is way too easy and I live for a good goddamn challenge, so you can call me manic. But that's only because I prefer to push when other people pull to people hard inside their own insecurities. That's why I wake up every morning. Thank God, tell God, I'm not ready to give up the ghost, even if it's holy. Spending my days to caring to the devil. I'm sorry, forgive me, I'm sorry, because even fallen angels need their ego to be stroked sometimes. My soul left home a haiku. It wants to return home an epic poem. It's just when me and my words are naked, I don't know how to dress them up or dress them up. But eventually I will. Before my will, this is how some of us outlaws pray. In clothing, in Jesus' name I pray. Outlaw. Thank you.
Outlaw. This dude does that shit. Unmute yourself. Give it up for CP Mays.
Oh, so CP. Woo. So strong.
Always amazing.
So powerful.
CP, always amazing, powerful.
Thank you. Haircut. Thank you. Well, thank you.
I'm almost afraid to ask what was the haiku you left home as.
Oh,
Oh,
such a
wow.
great question.
It was 17 syllables about how bad my credit is. That's what happened when I left the house. That's what it was.
Yo, excuse me, yo. And that was something that jumped out to me too. When I first heard that, I was like, yo, did you say my soul left home a haiku? And trying to return an epic. Like, this guy, right? I want to know the feeling of loving myself with the same intensity my hate does. My days run together like Jack and Daniels. Like, that's real. Like, there are no monsters in my closet, right? I am deathly afraid of waking up with the devil in my bed. Said, tell God I'm not ready to give up the ghost, even if it's holy. Even if it's holy. Appreciate you, Maze. Listen, you rocking with one of the best in the world, man. Maze is one of those dudes. Appreciate you, man, for being dedicated, staying committed, and rocking with us on a regular basis, man. Truly appreciate you. All right. I see the planets have moved out of orbit, so I think we have reached the final artist of the evening. Shout out Miramar. Shout out the incredible folks in Ocean Beach. Listen, this next incredible poet, shout out the Lakota people. This next brother right here holds a special place in my heart just for all the things that he's done for me, for our community. Shout out Men Who Heal. Shout out all the incredible things that have kept our community together for all these years. Here comes one of them, the one and only propaganda poet in the building. Let these folks know where they can find you online, Prop. It is always great to see you, man. Come on, take it away.
I am logging on to my computer just in case this laptop dies, because we got to the end here. But real quick, before I go, I just want to apologize for being in the room and not really being present. But I want to thank all of the poets who are still here, at least, the ones that are still here. Thank you for helping me get through an evening of board meetings run by colonizers who wanted to put their white guilt on parade, and helping me get through some grading. I appreciate all of that. I am a little saddened and disappointed that so many people left, just because, it's not cool to begin with, but because they're not going to hear what I'm about to read. And what I'm about to read is not anything I did. This is a student of mine, and I would like to share this with y'all. So my student wrote, Verse of the Voiceless. Attending Elemen2al's poetry performance was an immersive, enlightening experience that transcended the boundaries of conventional entertainment. As a poet and middle school teacher from Houston, Elemen2al wielded the power of spoken word to not only captivate, but also provoke introspection and dialogue. The multifaceted themes, profound impact, and personal insights gained from Elemen2al's thought-provoking performance are demonstrated through his use of choice of words and his power of cadence. For me, Elemen2al's performance was a wake-up call and a call to action. It reminded reminded me of the importance of using art as a tool for social change and justice. His poetry catalyzed critical reflection, prompting me to examine my own actions, in my beliefs and my biases. It inspired me to seek out ways to challenge injustice and inequality in my community and to amplify the voice of those who have been marginalized and silenced. And so here's a poem that he wrote in response to Elemental. In the Miramar Munchery, a multitude of money manic misfits magnetized by Merca marked monopolies made to muster and measure with monologues of men morosely masking misery to modulate marginalized minorities, majorities with maximum mockeries of messages with mere mistakes made to mystify and minimize movement to mules of mulattoes, but respectfully repressing railroaded raped wrong races and Rwanda rat places through ripped Wyoming ribble trees and repetitions of rhetorical alliteration, reputation, civil rights, realizations, refrain from righteous radical right-wing religions to reach their rich and not our poor, petrified that poets pace pentameters, providing punctuation, promoting parallels of postmodern, post-colonial prologues of patriarchal pageantry, pretending our privileged protagonists progress partly past primal, paradoxically placing its people from a plantation to a prison by encouraging economic, enterprising, egalitarian, emancipation, proclamation, evasion, erecting elemental to erode the eons of eagle-eyed entrapment of every empowered ethical essay, educating ethnic employees to exemplify an equalization equation with no enforceable ending as black is the new blue blood or black is to be admired. I'm balling like Kobe killed in a crash, creating cross-country cries, continuously contributing to capitalistic control of cotton to cabbie, Negro conservatory, KKK, Compton cooked and crimed, incarcerating consciousness, keeping counterculture colors chained to climb up Caucasian corporate chaos for centuries by boxing babies born in burrows, beaded blue but still black before your bedrooms become bars for 1 gram of weed, weakening your worries of a world that whips and wastes your will to written words of wisdom and a womb that lost its warmth, but simple school shouted stanzas singing stories of star-spangled strangers, shooting slaves, slopped and frisked, snake-bitten snake prison, scary movie stay hidden, suffer screams with such sad sowing of seeds in South Seas of confederacies. It's time we take our responsibilities. Will you take yours? Why won't you? That was my student in response to that man right there. Elemental doing the work. That's the effect that you have. All of y'all, that's the effect that poetry, music, art has. That's why they take it out of our fucking schools first all the time. We have to keep doing this because that is what happens. Thank you all for being who you are and doing what you do.
Yo, this dude is amazing. Unmute yourself. Give it up for Propaganda Poet.
That was a home run, a grand slam, and a touchdown, and a symphony, and an opera, and a musical, and a jazz jam, and a fucking anthem rock, and a hit fucking single. That shit was gone. That was good.
It's
Man,
okay.
Motherfucking influencer, huh? Fuck those.
So that student,
how many likes and subscribes?
That student came up to me and said, is it okay if I for the assignment, I wrote a poem? I'm like, yeah, it's fucking okay. What do you mean?
Well, thanks for pointing out really succinctly why they, we're all just talking about the power of the spoken word and, Elemental, you don't have to take responsibility for that outcome, but you have to acknowledge that, you were the inspiration for it. And Bear, that's really important to point out. That is why they want to take the word away from everybody, because it's a danger to them and their order. So,
Same with prisons.
Nuyorican Poets Café just keeps stepping up and speaking out.
There used to be this 90-year-old woman, Elizabeth Barker, and she did the prison poetry readings all over Massachusetts. And I used to call her Ma Barker. And every time she got funded, every time she went into the prison, no one that ever took her poetry class in a prison ever went back to prison. And every time she had a program, they shut it down. Same thing. Not just schools, fucking prison. Now put those two together and it's the same fucking story. Thank you.
Now I want to add to this that student just landed a job at NASA working on data for looking at how specifically climate change is affecting communities of color. So this white male military person listened to Elemen2al, wrote that, and is now going to be working for NASA, working on solutions for climate change that specifically affect communities of color. That's ripples.
And
That's
so,
fucking
and so, Bear.
Just tell him not to sign an NDA.
So, Bear.
What's up, Paul?
Sorry, I had to say it, man.
So, Bear, like a year ago, you never anticipated you would be transforming so many lives by being the conduit for these relationships you build this way. Think of what you're going to be doing 2 years, 3 years, 4 years from now. You are building a whole population of transformative change.
You had a baby. You had a fucking baby. That's raising a child and birthing a poet is not. You might be better off birthing a poet.
Transformative change. Let's finish up this evening, folks. Look. Thank you to each and every one of you for commenting on that. Prop, thank you for that. Right? Thank you for being fearless enough to talk to your students about poetry, for even the entire space, right? For those of you who don't know, I was a part of hearing marginalized voices through poetry. Shout out San Diego Miramar College. Shout out Miramar Muse. Shout out Raylan. Shout out so many people. Listen, it's things like that. I say all the time, right? We like to play with you know.
Okay, it looks like our host got disconnected. That hasn't happened for a while. The Wi-Fi gods, I'm not sure what's happening here. Okay, let me just make sure. Yeah, okay, let's wait a minute till he gets back in, but if he doesn't, thank you so much. A propaganda poet, you know, I'm so glad you're here, you know, rocking out. Everyone, please remember, I just got a text message, Elemen2al's computer died. So that's funny, it's not Murphy's Law. Propaganda said that his may die, but it was our host. So in this case, thank you everyone for attending, for participating. We really appreciate you. Elemen2al just texted me again. He apologizes to the community. You know, obviously it's not his fault. It's the hardware, and yeah, we've already gone over time. So I appreciate everyone here on this eve of our 4th anniversary. Please, everyone, if you can make it next week, please make it. We're gonna increase the artist RSVP spots to 30. So, you know, and everyone that you know who has been with us, you know, at any point during the last four years, you know, invite them, have them sign up. Everyone gets 2 minutes. We're going to do a little mini raffle next week as well. So again, on behalf of the Nuyorican Poets Café and on behalf of our host Elemen2al, thank you so much for coming through, for attending here each week on Thursday, our online open mics. Come check out our in-person programs. I am Ron Mark Thompson, your tech assistant and backup in the background. Until next week, Tamam, I hope we can hear from you as well. I see you in the background. You know, I always enjoy your poetry. So please, Mercedes, well, what a pleasure that you've been here with us. CP Mays, Dane, everyone, Paul, obviously Douglas, Cece, Sri, Annette, welcome. We'll see you all next week. Bye.